Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here on Share Talk for Monday the 8th of June. And as we're in a super bull market at the moment for the small caps, not much to add. You could throw a dart at the FT and have a pretty successful strategy, but it's just trying to add some value on the technical front. Starting off with Argos Resources, and here you can see this very nice consolidation here to start June. The shares gapped higher through the 50-day line, and it looks like they're ready to pop. Obviously, the initial destination will be a retest of January resistance through 6 and 7 pence. Hopefully much more. Stop loss back below the 50-day line at 2.15 pence. Stock which, in the old days, stock with China in the title was perhaps not well favoured. Maybe that's still the case now. But in this case, China New Energy shares have galloped away over the last couple of sessions. In terms of guessing where they may end up, we have that line of resistance from August at as high as 12 pence, maybe a 1 month target there for the shares, and that's valid while we hold above the 4 pence area, i.e. pre-spike resistance for the shares. On to favourite of the Bulletin Board Heroes, Cobra. Here you can see that we've managed to bounce off the 50-day moving average area quite nicely over the last, I suppose it started over the start of June, breaking above the 20-day line, 1.63 pence, and at least while we're above the 20-day line, looking for a retest of the best levels of May. Probably the area to look for in terms of the upside over the near term would be the top of this trend channel that I'm drawing from the beginning of the year, so heading for 4.25 pence, while we hold above the 1.6, 1.7 pence zone. So pretty well set fair there. Favourite amongst some on Twitter at the moment, and has been for quite some time, is Dukemount Energy. Just notice the way that we've had this, again, rather positive consolidation to start June. Shares just holding the 200-day moving average at 0.73, and the floor of this rising trend channel from February. End of day close above the 20-day line, 0.82, should be enough to take the shares on a journey up towards 1.4 pence at the February price channel top. Another Share Talk and Bulletin Board Heroes favourite is Greatland Gold. Here the shares hitting the 12 pence area. I'm still looking for 16 pence as far as the target is concerned over the next month. One would imagine that would be the top of a rising February trend channel, and that target valid while we hold above 9.8, 9.9 pence, which was the former April resistance on the shares. It was interesting that I, like many others, managed to spot the turnaround in Aston Martin after, I suppose, it was nearly £19 of downside. Even more difficult than Aston Martin has been Metro Bank, where people have lost money on bottom fishing the stock all the way down from £10 plus. Current situation, though, it may be the time now to regard this as a potential recovery situation. Very similar setup actually to that of Aston Martin, with the March low there. That was 69 pence. That was narrowly beaten, or broken rather, in May. It was exactly the same as Aston Martin did. And then basically end of day or end of week close back above 69 pence was the buy signal there. Situation here, though, probably the easiest thing now is, now that we've had a break of the 50-day line at 85, to use that as the stop loss. And while we're above 85 pence, looking for a target up to 150 or 160. Over the next 4 to 6 weeks. If you're cautious on the shares, maybe wait for an end of day close above £1, because that seems to be have been the sticking point over the last couple of months. The highest close there at £1 in April. So above 85p up to 150 with £1 plus the buy trigger on a momentum basis. A stock which I think may be new to the Bulletin Board Heroes is the next one. Here we've got Pharos Energy, and situation here is that broken above the 50-day line beginning of June, well above the 20-day line at 17 pence, but at least while we're above the 20-day line, looking for a top of broadening triangle from March as high as 34-35 pence over the next few weeks. I'm still enjoying Powerhouse Energy, largely on the basis, as I said before, every time I do a chart on it, somebody writes a negative article. The latest positive for the company and for the stock has been coverage in South Bank Investment Research. That was, I think, at the end of last week, and that's pushed the shares onto 4p. Just as a reminder, I was looking for 4.5 to 5 pence as the initial target, perhaps by the end of June, and the big target here over the course of the summer, if we actually get one, would be up to 8 pence, which is a January resistance line projection. This stage only really back below, I suppose, 3.5, 3.25 pence, which was initial June resistance, really delaying the upside scenario. On to stock which hasn't been greatly loved in the near term, hence the inclusion today. Predator Oil and Gas. Looks like it's in a wide rising trend channel from March, and that could allow the stock to retest post-January resistance at 6.5 pence. The buy trigger, I suppose, in the near term, if you're not already in it, might be an end-of-day close or a weekly close above the 200-day moving average at 4.12 pence. Finishing off with a stock which I think I missed on its initial push to the upside, Simic Atlantis Energy, rather on the basis that it's a rather a liquid situation. But we see the stock currently in full flow, just approaching Friday's high at 15 pence. Break of 15 pence, end of day close above 15 pence, could see the shares at the top of a rising February trend channel up towards the 25 pence level, and that could be seen at the current rate as soon as the end of this month. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.